Jonathan Lee Riches investigates. Let's talk about the private investigator that is working on the Bryan Kohberger defense team. Bryan Kohberger, the suspect, he was arrested in connection with the 4 college student brutal stabbings that occurred during the early morning hours of November 13, 2022. Bryan Kohberger is arrested, and he has a defense team of people working to try to get him off, try to get him acquitted, trying to get him off the DP. One particular individual, Richard Bitonti. Richard Bitonti works with Ann Taylor, who is Bryan Kohberger's lead public defender defense attorney. Richard Bitonti. Who is Richard Bitonti? I ask this because we've seen on a recent court document that Richard Bitonti is trying to speak with one of the surviving roommates inside that Moscow home, Bethany Funk. Richard Bitonti says in an affidavit that Bethany Funk spoke to police numerous times, and Bethany Funk was in that house when the murders happened and wants to question her because she might possibly have exculpatory evidence that could clear Bryan Kohberger. But who is Richard Bitonti? I was digging in a little bit about Richard Bitonti, and Richard Bitonti was a former lead investigator with the Boeing Company based in Washington. The Boeing Company looks like he worked for the police department for Indio, California. Looks like he worked for the Riverside, California District Attorney's Office, and now he is on board with the Bryan Kohberger defense team. But he also worked for a company called Integrity Investigations. Integrity Investigations. I want to show you a post, a public Facebook post that they made on their Facebook account. So this is a public Facebook post that Integrity Investigations made regarding Richard Bitonti. And you see there's a photograph of him here. Richard Bitonti, Vice President of Integrity Investigations Group, has over 33 years of investigative experience conducting complex criminal, regulatory, and workplace investigations. During his 29-year law enforcement career, Mr. Bitonti worked his way through the ranks and retired in 2010 as the commander of the Investigative Service Division, overseeing investigative operations, criminal and administrative, for the police department in Southern California. More recently, Mr. Bitonti was employed by the Oregon Medical Board as an investigator based in Portland, Oregon. During his tenure with OMB, his primary responsibility was to conduct sensitive investigations of licensed medical professionals alleged to have been involved in professional misconduct as outlined in the Oregon Medical Practice Act. Mr. Bitonti left the public sector after accepting an offer to join the Boeing Company as the lead investigator in human resources investigations for Boeing commercial airplanes. BCA employs approximately 80,000 employees throughout the world. In this capacity, provide leadership to the unit and reviewed the work product of approximately 30 HRI investigators based in Washington State and South Carolina. As BCA's lead HRI investigator, he also conducted complex, sensitive, and high-level workplace investigations domestically and internationally. Richard Bitonti, seen right here. Let me know what you think. Richard Bitonti of Integrity Investigations. Here's a little bit more information about Integrity Investigations. So this is the public website for Integrity Investigations, full service investigations and consulting, based in, it looks like, Idaho, criminal, civil, and administrative. So we'll click here, About Us, attorney's first choice for investigations and litigation support. More than 25 attorneys in Idaho, Washington, California, and Montana have utilized our services for investigations and consulting on cases ranging from lawsuits to criminal defense work and labor law issues. Our company is based on the belief that our clients' needs are the utmost importance. Our entire team is committed to meeting those needs. As a result, high percentage of our business is from repeat customers and referrals. We would welcome the opportunity to earn your trust and deliver the best service in the industry. Whether your requirements are fact-finding, expert advice, or ongoing consulting services, our staff will provide a service that exceeds your expectations. Access to investigative databases, knowledge of the justice system, and rules of evidence, coupled with our training and expertise, makes us unique in a field populated by imposters and pretenders. Proven record. Whether you're accused of a crime, being sued, wrongfully terminated, or being harassed at work, you have the right to be represented at your interest and have your interest protected. Because we have worked in and around the federal, state, and local courts for decades, we have a keen awareness of relevant evidence and the value of in-depth, thorough investigation to the outcome of your case. More than 25 attorneys in 4 states can't be wrong when they choose integrity investigations as their support for trial or litigations. So this is a little bit of information about integrity investigations. Richard Bitonti, who has ties to this group here, is now Bryan Kohberger's defense, working on his defense investigator on his defense, working with Ann Taylor. Let me know what you think. So the question is, who is Richard Bitonti? Does he genuinely think that Bryan Kohberger is innocent? Does he know that Bryan Kohberger is guilty and is just a paid mercenary? And when I say a paid mercenary, is sell his soul to the devil. You know, he used to work in the police department and used to putting people away. Now he's working in a field to release people from custody, try to get people off. So you went from putting people away to now trying to put people off. But is he, in his mind, is he doing this because he generally thinks people are innocent, or it's all about the Benjamins, baby? Money talks. If you pay somebody, they can make somebody seem not guilty, innocent. What's your thoughts on Richard Bitonti? I think we'll hear more from him. I believe he's getting paid, you know, part of this agreement that the Latah County commissioners signed with Bryan Kohberger's defense team. I think he's making like $40-something an hour and overtime on this Kohberger case. Yeah, he's probably going to end up making hundreds of thousands of dollars, all said and done, in this Bryan Kohberger case that will most likely drag out for years. I'm covering this case extensively. Subscribe to my channel, like, hit the notification button, check out my Bryan Kohberger playlist. Richard Bitonti. Who is he? Do you know any information about him? If you do, please share in the comments. We'll talk soon. Stay tuned.